Fighting for focus is a constant and never-ending battle because life accumulates constantly. Do your closets get more or less full over time? How about your drawers or your attic or your garage? Now, what about your commitments, your tasks, your recurring responsibilities? Do you get more of those or less? How about your meeting schedule, your daily emails and notifications, more or less? What about the number of products and SKUs in your business? How about the number of types of clients that you serve, the number of tech product and solutions you use, etc.? More happens by itself, which is why you have to be vigorous about constantly stripping things away. So I can sit here and tell you this secret, which is not such a secret after all, particularly since I have told you so many times before, and you already know it to be true. The only question you have to grapple with here this morning is, can you do it? Will you do it? And will you stick with it finally once and for all? Your history probably says no. But the great thing about the present is you can make a new history looking back from the future starting today. This morning, I'm going to share with you what I have learned is a superpower of mine. I didn't realize it was such a superpower until I tried to teach it to others, only to watch them flail and fail in attempting to use it. Simply put, it is being able to stay focused. I know that that is too simply put, even though it is dead accurate. So let me try to put some meat on that bone for you to chomp on here this morning. Giving this some thought, I think that the problem everybody runs into is trying to apply and stick to this well-proven strategy. The problem is ego, greed, and fear. Ego because we love being busy. It's a social signal of being valued and important. Here in the United States, this is a fraught hangover from our puritanical heritage. We were taught to visibly and constantly demonstrate our hard work ethic as a way of proving our faith and devotion to God. To be idle was socially and spiritual heresy. This is why we love our endless streams of emails, texts, notifications, tasks, to-dos, attempting to multitask all along the way to hashtag GSD, get more shiitake done. In doing so, we appear productive. Thus, we feel productive. But in the end, the only one you fool is yourself. And what you get to show for most of it is a lack of actual productivity, as well as stress, overwhelm, anxiety, insomnia, and ulcers. Now, greed, because you love every new idea, every new invitation, every new offer, every new opportunity. They are all like shiny objects that you cannot resist. You want more and more, the next and the next. You have an insatiable appetite for more. You are greedy for more. You just cannot say no, no matter how much more hurts you. And finally, fear. You just cannot stand the idea of maybe missing out, of maybe being left out, of maybe not being in the know. So you just can't say no. I know these psychological tugs because I used to be just as subjected to them as anyone. But I learned and I practiced focus long enough to experience its radical results. Results so great, so extraordinary that I now protect my focus with a religious fervor. Fighting for focus is a constant and never-ending battle because life accumulates constantly. Do your closets get more or less full over time? How about your drawers or your attic or your garage? Now, what about your commitments, your tasks, your recurring responsibilities? Do you get more of those or less? How about your meeting schedule, your daily emails and notifications, more or less? What about the number of products and SKUs in your business? How about the number of types of clients that you serve, the number of tech product and solutions you use, etc.? More happens by itself, which is why you have to be vigorous about constantly stripping things away. The co-founder of Netflix, Mark Randolph, called this ruthless streamlining scraping the barnacles off the hull. He said, like boat owners, he found that you have to have the discipline to regularly remove all the small things that inevitably accrue on the hull over time that slow forward progress. Now, that is just streamlining the things you are doing. The much more, and seemingly for others, difficult thing for people to do is to say no to more opportunity, going back to the greed and FOMO factors. Using Netflix again as a reference, Mark called this the Canada principle. He said, when we were first starting out and we were finally starting to get a little bit of traction, investors started suggesting, you should go into Canada. That'd be an easy 10% bump in your revenues because Canada is approximately 10% of the size of the United States. Mark said, at first, you go, well, yeah, I guess that's interesting. That'd be pretty easy, just an easy way to get a quick 10%. But then you begin to think about it and you go, I'm not quite so sure about the easy. I mean, for one, they do have different currencies. Some of our DVDs have different rights arrangements in Canada than they do here. And then there's this little issue of language that part of Canada actually speaks French and in fact legally mandates that the materials are in French as well as English. So he said, we quickly realized that if we were to take the exact same effort, as minimal as it might be, that it took to get into Canada and just apply it back on our core business, that we would get a way bigger bump than 10% without adding 50% in complexity. You see, that choice right there and the productivity math around it, that is a choice that I'm constantly making. I cannot tell you the number of times people tell me I should translate and sell my programs in Spanish, license my programs, do a coaching program, go into China, do big arena events, live stream on Facebook or Instagram, or dance on TikTok, or go on Clubhouse, or. And here is the conundrum for most people. All of those are good ideas. They all might produce some result. But, and this is the big old but, not as much as just applying the same effort, because everything costs effort, time, and attention, capacity, life force, and team resources, not as much as just applying the same effort to our core business. In essence, doing less better. And here is what I have found. And for some reason, either people cannot believe it or they just can't seem to stick to it. My results are exponentially greater than contemporaries who are doing a whole hell of a lot more stuff than I am, but only gaining a few yards and a cloud of dust. So I can sit here and tell you this secret, which is not such a secret after all, particularly since I have told you so many times before, and you already know it to be true. The only question you have to grapple with here this morning is, can you do it? Will you do it? And will you stick with it finally once and for all? Your history probably says no. But the great thing about the present is you can make a new history looking back from the future starting today. So tell us in the comments below, what barnacles are you going to scrape off the hole to streamline your future forward progress? Oh, and if you want some help with this, I share the 3 best focus strategies that I picked up after 2 decades of reporting on the most productive and successful achievers of our lifetime. I reveal those strategies in a 60-minute training broadcast called 3 Insider Secrets. If you haven't seen that, or if you want to review it, which I recommend, I'll be sure that there is a link below. The training is free. It's my gift. Spend 1 hour learning the 3 strategies, and I promise it will buy you hundreds of hours in much greater productivity output, a pretty great exchange rate if I do say so myself, and in fact, I do. Have a great day, everybody.